So fisheries management, our job, to kind of boil it down, is to try to make fishing better. And if fishing's good already, we try to keep it that way. In order to make decisions about management, we need data and information. And the way that we get this information is by using different gear to sample fish and try to get a feel for what the populations are. So we use this electrofishing gear that you see today to sample fish. So it's kind of a dangerous, setup, but we have a lot of safety equipment and training to make sure that we're safe when we're doing this. And we have these probes here, which are called their cathode, the positive charge there. And then the bottom of this boat is a metal plate, which is the anode. And so the electricity flows through and completes the circuit. And the fish in the circuit is kind of so if you got a circuit with a light bulb, the fish is kind of the light bulb in our circuit. When we're reaching in and we're trying to sample different habitats, we'll put a probe maybe under an undercut bank and pull it out, and you'll see the fish kind of swim towards the probe. And it forces them to kind of move their muscles and swim towards our probe. So you'll see us kind of pull the fish out and scoop them up with our net because they're attracted. They're trying to swim directly into that current. And does anyone know why some people call this the German brown trout?
This is brown.
Brown for sure.
Can't argue with that.
But also, this fish originally came from Germany. So there are a couple different stocks. So it's got this little nub behind its fin. And it's got this fin right here. It's a trout.
The brown trout's got dark spots on a light background. The brook trout's going to have the opposite. It's going to be light spots on a dark background.
You see this big stripe along its side? What that's called is the lateral line. And so this is kind of like the fish's sixth sense. It allows it to feel vibrations without hearing them or seeing them within a close proximity to the fish. And so there's actually these tiny pores along the side of the fish. They're kind of shaped like this. And inside of those pores are little, basically hairs. So when a pulse of water comes through, it goes into that pore and kind of tips the hair over, and the fish can feel that movement of water next to it. The idea is the brook trout has this white fringe with a little bit of black behind it. Brown trout, they'll get some white fringe, but they don't have that strong black stripe behind that white fringe.
The female, when she's done laying her eggs, she'll actually go upstream, lay on her side, whap the bottom with her tail, dislodge gravel, and bury those eggs. So those eggs are buried in 4 to 5 inches of gravel, and that keeps them safe from getting sedimentation and all. The more grass, the more perennial cover, the more perennial vegetation you have on these banks, on these hillsides, the more groundwater percolation you're going to get, the more base flow, which is flow coming in from the sides of the stream, the more spring flow, colder water temperatures. That's what's going to maintain these trout streams. There's cattle that have access to the stream, they have access to the stream banks, and you look and the banks are holding up very, very well because he manages that.
So this is a white sucker here. So do you think this is a native fish to Wisconsin, or is this non-native? Actually, this guy is from Wisconsin. So this is a native fish to the state. They're widely distributed. You find them all over the state, up north, down south. They usually like a little bit cooler water. You'll see them in trout streams, living right alongside trout. They make a lot of good trout food. So you'll see them when you're shocking in the shallows this time of year. You'll find these little white suckers that are like your little trout hot dogs. Perfect. They don't have any spines. They're perfect trout food. Hey, these guys, they live a little bit differently than trout. They've got the sucker mouth here, and so they'll swim along the bottom, sucking up finer sediment and filtering out invertebrates with these little rakers that they have on their gills. So as they flush the water through, these rakers on their gills can catch those invertebrates, and the fine sand and silt kind of shoots out the back of their gill plate. But yeah, these guys are widespread. Important part of the ecosystem. Like I said, good trout food, especially for those bigger trout that are going to eat more fish. Really important for those guys.
Are there any suckers or carp that are not good for the trout?
Yeah, so I mean, there's some non-native invasives like your common carp. We don't see those as much up in these streams.
We used to see them a while ago. When I first started, we would see carp in some of these streams, but the water's too cold now. They don't like that.
They're definitely in the bad axe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got one more sucker species to show you. This guy is called a shorthead red horse. And so we got several different red horse species in the state. If this had a darker tail, no red in the tail, it might be a silver red horse, it might be a golden red horse, but this guy has color, so it's definitely not either of those. It's got the short head here.
Pass it around if you like. It's kind of heavy for some of you younger folks, but if you have an interest, get a good look at it.